The big dumper having a career season with 38 home runs, but right now it's not enough to win AL MVP, according to Vegas. Reigning MVP Aaron Judge is a minus 600 favorite. The Yankee captain leads all of baseball in batting average and OPS. Judge is second in home runs and RBIs, behind only Cal Raleigh. Welcome in former Marlins president David Samson, who helped the club win the 2003 World Series, here to hand out his midseason awards. AL MVP, midseason, David, Judge or Raleigh?
Well, I'm going Judge, and I think it's important to point out we're not midseason, actually, Dermish. We are past midseason.
The unofficial way. Okay, that's what you always have to say. If you want me to give the context, it's the unofficial midpoint of the season.
I love it. Listen, here's the thing with Aaron Judge. This season, it's historic. Now, I agree that Raleigh has been unreal, and hitting 38 homers before the break. Only Barry Bonds has more back when he was doing things. But the reality is that Aaron Judge is more than home runs, while Raleigh is a catcher. But what Aaron Judge is doing is anchoring a lineup and doing things that we don't see right-handed hitters do. He's hitting for power. He's hitting for average. He's hitting 355. That's almost 100 points greater than Raleigh. There is no scenario that I see where Raleigh can overtake Judge unless two things. So I guess I can see it. One, if Raleigh hits 70 and the Mariners win the division, then I think Raleigh will win the MVP. If the Yankees win the division and Judge hits 58 to 60 and hits 330 or above, he's going to win MVP no matter what. So I'm speaking to you from both sides of my mouth because we've got another 65 games to go, but it's going to take a Herculean effort by Raleigh to overtake Judge.
So you just talked yourself into Raleigh winning AL MVP, sort of.
Well, no, a lot of things have to happen, and I just don't think they're going to happen.
Okay.
I think when you look at what he's done, it seems like it's a home run every game. If he does get to 70, I mean, come on. He doesn't have enough games to get to 70. Let's just say 64, and he breaks the AL record. Is that enough to move the odds? I just don't think so. Take a look at these comparisons. Up 1 RBI, up 3 home runs, but down 96 points in average. People say average doesn't matter, but actually it does matter, especially when it comes to MVP and team performance. I love you, Andre, but team performance, that's Andre Dawson, but team performance also does matter, and that's why we have to see what the Mariners do and the Yankees for the rest of the season.
Raleigh, 25 home runs away from breaking Judge's American League record of 62 just set 3 years ago. Raleigh on pace for 64. And look, we saw this last season in the NL, right? Francisco Lindor had a great second half, but it was never going to be Francisco Lindor winning MVP because it was Shohei Ohtani. So for Raleigh, it's almost like, hey, it's one of the greatest seasons put together by a catcher, but not going to be MVP worthy.
I think that's right. He's obviously going to be in the top 3. He'll be one of the finalists, but it's really hard. You know, in the National League as well, you've got Ohtani. How do you not name him MVP every year?
I don't know.
With what he continues to do? And so I just think that it's going to be really hard to beat those guys. And it's sort of fun to be around in the sport this day and age, this era, with 2 stars like Judge and Ohtani, who are just so spectacular year after year after year.
Yeah, we're not even going to ask you about the NL MVP because Shohei Ohtani's minus 800. So I'm not going to waste your time with a question like that. I'm going to move on here. According to the odds, Judge is the favorite to run it back as AL MVP. So is Tarek Skubal as AL Cy Young winner. Next closest odds to win the Cy Young is Boston's Garrett Crochet. David, is anyone going to catch Skubal for the Cy Young?
So I don't think so, but Crochet could. Again, if he carries Boston and somehow they've won 10 in a row, they are right back in it, 3.5 back in the wild card position, and I still think they could win the AL East. And if he wins the ERA title and the Red Sox win the AL East and somehow can catch the Tigers for the best record in the game, I think Crochet would then take over. But those are so many ifs that I just don't see it. Skubal's just too good, too consistent, and I don't see him having one of those, hey, I gave up 7 earned runs in 4 innings and it really crushes your season. He just doesn't have starts like that. Take a look at what he does, having command, having the ability to get strike 3, having the swings and misses that he gets. And I don't want to take take away from Crochet. Another great acquisition by Craig Breslow, the embattled Craig Breslow, who's having a redemption tour post-Devers, which I'm loving watching, but I think Skubal's got it in the bag.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough start to the second half for the Red Sox on the road against the Cubs, Phillies, and then home against the Dodgers. That could, I know it's 10 games, but it could essentially make or break their season there at the beginning of the second half of the season, even though unofficially we're already halfway through. Skubal can be the first pitcher since Pedro Martinez in 1999 and 2000 win back-to-back AL Cy Young Awards. The last pitcher in the NL to go back-to-back was Jacob deGrom in 2018-2019. The odds much closer in the senior circuit. I don't know if people still call it the senior circuit, but I'm old enough and I'm going to still call it that. Zach Wheeler's the favorite at -125, followed by Paul Skenes at -105. Wheeler, twice a runner-up in 2021 and then just last year. David, is Wheeler your midseason winner, or are you looking at Skenes?
Yeah, so Skenes is the popular pick here because he's starting the All-Star game for the second year in a row, and he is obviously the super celebrity. And he, you know, we talk about the fact that he can't get wins, and people say they don't care about wins. People were saying Don Kelly could be manager of the year, and then they started losing again as they do. I just don't think you will give the Cy Young to Skenes because Wheeler, what he's done, it's almost like a career achievement award. And the Phillies, who go into the break, you know, with a half-game lead, I think, over the Metropolitans.
Correct.
If he carries them to the NL East title and continues on with having the performances leading that staff, and they've got, obviously, 3 All-Stars sort of on the staff, and Nola, who just isn't good this year, but he was. It's an interesting team and a great race to watch. But I see Wheeler as the favorite because writers are not fans. Fans would put Skenes in there, no question about it, because of Livy, because of whatever. But writers are different, and I think that Wheeler will carry the day.
Yeah, Nola injured, but they certainly have 2 other guys who are all-star worthy that, well, caused quite a stir with Brewers rookie Jacob Misiorowski. Caused quite the stir inside the Phillies clubhouse. It was actually entertaining to hear what those guys said. He's only made 5 starts. He made the All-Star team, and he's the favorite to win NL Rookie of the Year already over Braves catcher Drake Baldwin, who's having a fantastic rookie campaign. David, who's your midseason NL Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to where you just were with Drake Baldwin, because when you're playing that position, when you've been doing it over the course of a season, he'll end up with, you know, let's say 300 at-bats, and it's a very difficult place for a rookie to be. The problem is his team stinks, and that can be held against you in most categories, but not Rookie of the Year. The Marlins, through all of our issues, we had a ton of Rookies of the Year. It certainly doesn't mean you're, you know, Hall of Fame trajectory. I miss you, Chris Coughlin. But what it does mean is that you've had a great, great first campaign. And I think what Baldwin's done, we shouldn't overlook. Now, think about what happened here with the Brewers. They are a team that is challenging for the best record in baseball. Somehow Matt Arnold, who should be Executive of the Year, continues to bring the Brewers victories in the face of defeat. Catching the Cubs is not out of the question. If he starts the rest of the year and the Brewers win that division, I keep going back to that because it matters, and he ends up being a huge part of that and the ace of that staff, which, again, with Peralta, I don't think can happen, but pretend it does, then I think you could see those odds change and him become the overwhelming favorite. But what Baldwin's done, please don't sleep on it because you don't watch the Braves anymore.
Yeah, the Brewers have a pretty good staff. Peralta, Brandon Woodruff's back, the youngster Quinn Priester and Jacob Misiorowski, pretty darn good, only a game back of the Cubs as they entered the break on a 7-game winning streak. Your popular catchphrase, it's just business, it's nothing personal. Who's been the biggest disappointment of the first half?
I want to go back to the Braves. It was the Orioles, and I really felt like I should give them this title. But when I really examined it and I saw how many games actually Acuna's been back, I looked at the injuries that the Braves have, but they're not as much as what the Orioles have. And I thought that the Braves would be able to better withstand the injuries. And when they got back to 500, the reason they win this award is they climbed out of their 0-7 hole, trying to become the first team ever to make the postseason after 0-7, even to have a winning record. And guess what? They got there, and then they absolutely couldn't win a game. And they're back to, I think, Dermish, they're 11 under right now, or 9. 22-53 or 43-52. They lost sight of the Marlins, for crying out loud. Forget the Mets and Phillies. So for me, the Braves season is done. Whether or not Alex will sell should be your top story for the trade deadline, because he's got all those guys locked up. So he knows who he's in bed with. And the question is, does he still believe in them? Or is this year an aberration? Or is this, we may have made some mistakes. Can someone help us get out of it? So I'm fascinated over the next 2 weeks watching what the Braves do.
Well, according to history, their season was over in early April. The Braves started the season 0-7. No team has ever started the season 0-7 and made the playoffs. Dunzo. David Samson also. Dunzo here on HQ. Thanks, David. Here's a look at the odds to win the World Series. Dodgers are the favorites to run it back at plus 210. Ooh, look at the Tigers at plus 700. I know they've been playing some good baseball, one of the best records in all of baseball. And they're right there. I don't like the Tigers to win the World Series. I just don't. Dodgers, I don't even see the Red Sox on here. They could be a dark horse if they can start the unofficial second half on a roll. But again, a tough start to the second half for Boston on the road against Chicago, Philadelphia home against the Dodgers. We haven't seen a team win back-to-back World Series titles since the Yankees won 3 in a row from 1998 to 2000.
Welcome back to CBS Sports HQ, where MLB midseason awards are set to be handed out. And it's no surprise that guy, Shohei Ohtani, is the current favorite to win his 4th MVP award and potentially his 3rd consecutive win. Ohtani is already a part of an elite group that hold not 1, not 2, but 3 MVP awards, as you see there. That includes Mike Trout, A-Rod, Mike Schmidt. But now he has a chance to really separate himself and get closer to the only guy who has more awards than him, the great Barry Bonds at the top there with 7 MVP awards. For much more on Major League Baseball's midseason awards, let's go ahead and say hello to our own Julian McWilliams. Julian, great to see you. You know, most people would get sick of handing the same award to the same player every single year, but I would have to disagree. Where do you stand on this year's NL MVP award, and who deserves it?
You know what? I think at this time it is Ohtani, but there's a little for me to just be desired. There's a little for me just it's not all the way there for me, because in some sense, this has been the year where his average is a little bit down, right? The OPS is not what we're used to, and he's now getting back to pitching again. But I will say this. I think that if you look at it in its totality, you got to go with him, right? You have to. And I think the pitching is only going to make it better. And the NL, it just hasn't been that competitive in terms of a race. I don't think, Acuña's been out for a while. Obviously, he's back now. Fernando Tatis got out to a great start. Now he's sort of lagged a little bit. So Ohtani's a clear favorite right now.
How about in the AL? Who are you rolling with, and are you in favor of the odds makers picking Aaron Judge here?
You got to go Aaron Judge, and I think this is incredible. I always say I thought he was a guy that would hit, 250, 260 with 30 to 35 homers when he first came up and strike out a lot, and you would take that. That's an all-star. That's a premier player. But the fact that he's been able to do it, Jordan, with average, with power, his ability to play the outfield, I think his outfield play doesn't get enough respect. I think he's in line to win his first Gold Glove. He's on pace to hit, 55 homers. He's hitting 356. So if you're looking at those numbers and you're saying he's not going to win the American League MVP, you're crazy. He's definitely going to win it.
Not much up for debate in that category. Let's now get to the Cy Young Award, starting in the AL here. Tell us why Tarek Skubal is on his way to his 2nd straight.
You got there before me, huh? So yeah, absolutely. No, Tarek Skubal, I think he's gonna win. He's gonna win the Cy Young, or should at least he's in line to right now. 0.83 WHIP. Is a guy that's a dog out there. He goes the entire way a lot of times for complete games. He's a guy that you can depend on. And by the way, the Detroit Tigers, one of the best teams in baseball. He's totally changed that culture there. It's not just about him being the most valuable player for a team. I think it's about him being the most valuable player for an organization. And from an organizational standpoint, he's the guy. I mean, you're looking at his 10-3, 2.33 ERA, 0.83 WHIP, 153 Ks, and 121 innings pitched. That's my Cy Young winner right now.
All right, now switching gears to the NL here. A few players in contention here, but who are you rolling with?
I know most people say Paul Skenes, but I got to go with Zach Wheeler. He's been my guy this year playing for the Phillies. The Phillies are a team that's been up and down this year, right? Their offense hasn't been there. But what's kept them in line this year has been their pitching. And more importantly, Zach Wheeler. I saw him pitch two weeks ago against the Padres. they couldn't touch him. He's that elite of a player. And if you're looking at his numbers, what, a 2.36 ERA, 0.86 WHIP, 154 Ks, and 122 innings pitched. He leads the league in 11.7 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's the guy. And if you're looking at a guy that you want to see perform on a night-to-night basis, I know it's Paul Skenes. I know everybody, he's a shiny new toy. But don't forget about that 35-year-old in Zach Wheeler.
That's an interesting pick. I like it, though. Lastly here, Rookie of the Year awards. Let's hand them out in the National League. This one seems like a bit of a layup.
Yeah, in the National League, you got to go with Jacob Mizorowski. I hope I pronounced his last name right, but he's been a special player. I don't think he should have been an All-Star, right? But if you're going to give him the All-Star game appearance, you at least have to give him the National League's Rookie of the Year award. He's been that amazing, that electric, and that team is playing really, really well under Pat Murphy. He's done a really, really good job with him, and just from a stuff standpoint, I mean, he's up there with Skenes.
Lastly, in the American League, who earns your Rookie of the Year award?
Yeah, people don't know this guy because people don't really cover this team like that, and I understand they're in Sacramento playing in a minor league stadium. But you got to go with Jacob Wilson, right? He's hitting .332. And the A's do a great job at developing their young players. They don't keep them, but they develop them. So you got to go with Jacob Wilson.
You know, I'm being told we're bringing out the receipts here from the control room, Julian. You picked Gleyber Torres to win Comeback Player of the Year. I'm told that we got to give some flowers your way.
Hey, give them out. I'll accept all of them. I'll accept all of them, Jordan.
I love it. Julian McWilliams joining us live here on CBS Sports HQ as we get set to hand out some mid-season MLB awards as you take a look at all of Julian's picks there. Shohei Ohtani, yet another one. Just add it to the list. Aaron Judge, the AL MVP. Eric Skubal, AL Cy Young Award winner, back-to-back there. Zach Wheeler, we'll see if that one comes to fruition here. Mizorowski, though, the Rookie of the Year for the National League, and then Jacob Wilson, AL Rookie of the Year.